You're very explicit.
This was the moment Caitlin Coons realized it was over. Every piece of evidence investigators had against her exposed the lies she had told them.
Exactly like you said.
We know the Border Patrol stopped that car down in Douglas, Arizona.
It's now in Mexico?
We don't know. They're trying to find it right now. They got an airplane up and they're trying.
On May 5th, the Canton Police Department reached out to Sylvania Township Police and requested they conduct a welfare check on 53-year-old Nicole Jones. When they arrived at her home, the house was empty, but officers were shocked by what they found out. After conducting a thorough search of the residence, officers were unable to locate Nicole Jones. However, evidence inside the home strongly suggested she had been the victim of a homicide. Adding to the concern, Nicole's son, Jonathan Jones, was also missing. A wider search was launched, and investigators soon tracked him to Mexico, where he was attempting to flee with his 17-year-old girlfriend, Caitlin Coons. When the pair was taken into custody, they were found in possession of Nicole Jones's Social Security card, her driver's license, and several other forms of identification. Officers also recovered a backpack containing what appeared to be burgundy stains, later suspected to be blood. Both of them were brought in for investigation.
I was staying at this group home.
How long were you in the hospital?
Like 2 months.
Okay. And why were you there so long?
I don't even know why I was there for so long. I think it's because my caseworker was trying to find me treatment, a treatment facility, or like somewhere for me to go, basically like placement, because like I have so many issues. Like I have my self-harming, my depression, and then my anger and my aggression problems.
So you would say that you've had a lot of issues. You're probably well known in Canton, Stark County because of all those issues,
Yeah,
right?
I have a bad running away history.
And so they were having some issues finding a place for you to go, correct?
Right.
Okay. So at some point were you in the hospital, did you become friends with someone? A nurse?
No, I did not become friends with no nurse.
No?
No.
And that you conversed with?
There was what was her name? I don't even remember the person's name. I know there's somebody.
Coons has been in the custody of Stark County Children's Services. However, in April, she disappeared from the group home. She then sent a text message to a group home nurse telling her she had killed 2 people and was on the run.
He cleaned up the mess on the ground. He moved her body into turned her over or whatever. And then after that happened, he ended up packing up everything. He moved the body into the car. I helped him carry the body to the car. And then after that happened, he drove, and then he ended up cutting off his ankle monitor. Oh, no. I guess he had it on. I thought he cut it off before, but he drove to this apartment place, and he got out of the car. I got out of the car. And mind you, the body didn't feel the same the time that it felt whenever I was at the garbage can or whatever. Before, it was like, it wasn't as heavy, then it was heavy as soon as we got to the apartment place. And then after that, I helped him carry the body and dump it in the dumpster. And then after that, he cut his ankle monitor off. And then he fled, basically. That's what happened.
When you saw him in the kitchen with his hands around her neck, it was the kitchen, right?
Right.
Okay. Where at? I mean, it's a fairly good size kitchen. Where specifically?
This is the fridge. And this is this. The body's right here. There's blood all around the head part. And there's even like brain matter over here. And he's standing over here with his hands right here. And the rock is literally just right there with blood on the top of it. And I'm all the way over here.
So he was calling your name while he was strangling her? Had his hands around her neck? How long did that go on? How long would you estimate that was going on?
I don't know. I really don't know. I was panicking. But I do know that, before I walked in, that he was banging her head with a rock or whatever, because there was stuff all over the ground. There was blood on the rock.
Okay.
It's clear there are cracks in her story. Coons appears to be holding something back, unwilling to come clean. And investigators know this tactic all too well. When a suspect recalls one scene with perfect clarity but suddenly forgets what happened next, it's never by accident. That kind of gap in memory usually means one thing: they're hiding something.
You are back at Sean's Irish Tavern, okay? So, at that point, the body's in the trunk. Because later on, it's not till 12:17 a.m. that the car goes to where the body was disposed of in the dumpster.
But I don't remember. I'm telling you, I don't remember.
You don't remember, but I'm telling you. Okay, that's what happened. So, you're distraught that you just saw this killing, okay?
Well, I wouldn't have walked in on it, but yeah.
Okay, you saw this, you're shocked at this whole thing, right? Things are fuzzy, but you go to Sean's.
I don't remember.
Get a little
going to
dinner.
Sean's, though. That's the
Okay.
thing. I don't, like,
Well-
I really don't remember. All I remember is, like, the big shit that happened, because the other stuff.
Well, that's why we're trying to figure this out together, okay? So I'm just telling you, and I'm filling in these spots, and maybe it'll click something in your head after, okay? So he lives in the Canton area, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you exchange some text messages with Michael Smith telling him that you guys had killed Jonathan's mother?
You gotta remember something.
Yes, I did say that.
You did? Okay. And what were you trying to do? What were you trying to accomplish by telling?
I was trying to get help in some way. I was trying to let them know. But I love Michael.
So, Michael, you reached out to him because, in your words in these messages, you were wanting to join a drug cartel, right?
That's what Jonathan wanted, yeah. But I put that in the message.
And then, so you put on the message, you're going back and forth with this guy, and he explains to you that, hey, if you're going to join a drug cartel, because apparently he had the connections to put you in contact with the drug cartel. So he explained to you that you have to be able to kill people. And he asked you, have you ever killed anyone? You said, yes. And he said, who? And he said, who? And you said, oh, me and my boyfriend killed his mom, and so on and so forth. And he asked you specifics about names and so on and so forth. I can show you the conversation if you like.
No, I don't need to
Okay.
see it.
And let me tell you something about it. You know how this came into our possession? You want me to tell you? Mr. Smith is an informant
I don't know, he told me.
for the marshals. So the whole time this is going on and he's having this conversation with you, he's actually giving that information directly to law enforcement. So, and I'm looking at this man, somebody who's an innocent victim that was thrust in the middle of the situation.
At this moment, Coons knew she had been caught red-handed, and when that realization sets in, suspects often resort to the same tactic: tears. Crying becomes a shield, an attempt to win sympathy, to soften the pressure, and to redirect the focus away from the truth.
Kleenex, that'd be helpful.
That'd be it. I can do it.
Can you take a real deep breath for me? a real deep breath for me, okay?
No, they don't understand. I didn't do it.
Stop. Here you go. Thanks, appreciate it. Yeah, here. Take some Kleenex, will you? Blow real hard. Get it all out. Get it all out of your neck. Good blood.
While investigators left Coons for a while to reconsider her decision of coming out clean, Jonathan Jones was being interviewed.
I heard about it, and she's like, I had to do it so we could be together. Well,
And where are you guys at when this conversation's happening?
just outside of the kitchen. She has blood on her. I stepped in some because of how it got everywhere. So I had a little bit on like my socks. Just from the splatter getting everywhere. I don't know, like I said, if she stabbed her, cut her, or what, but there was blood all over the kitchen.
Did you, no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, ask your question.
No, I don't know, go ahead.
Okay. At this point, I sit down at the kitchen table and I'm looking at her and I'm like, what did you do? And she straight up told me she stopped her from being in the way of us being together. From there, we went.
After Jonathan's interview, officers returned to Coons.
Whenever I was thinking I was gonna, I just think about how it happened. That's really why I think that my mind wouldn't let me stay awake, because I really did think about how it happened and stuff, and I did piece this. Like, I was trying to tell my other attorney, like, when you see somebody stabbed 3 times and you see a knife on the ground by the body and they're stabbed 3 times and you're not the killer, you put 2 together. The person was stabbed 3 times with that knife. That's how I see it as. That's how I literally put 2 and 2 together. I knew he hit her in the head with the rock or whatever. There was literally stuff on her head whenever I walked in, blood and stuff on the ground. And then he had his hands on her neck, so I knew that he was strangling her. And then on top of that, I knew exactly what he bought and stuff because I was there, and I just put it together, and I just wanted to make it sound like I did it too.
So let me ask you this. What do you think you were getting out of it from Jonathan by telling him, just on your own, saying to him directly, I'm going to take the fall? What was in your mind about what were you going to get from Jonathan for that statement?
Coons kept stammering, carefully searching for the next word to use, anything that might hide her crime. These are the signs investigators watch for when someone is being deceptive. The hesitation, the broken speech, the constant need to correct themselves, they're all indicators that the story isn't genuine.
That I would take the fall because, I don't know. It's hard for me to make sense, but I said it in the moment.
After the interview, Coons was transported back to jail. It was during her time in custody that she finally confessed. She admitted to telling Jonathan Jones that they needed to do something about his mother, Nicole Jones, because she believed Nicole was preventing them from being together. Coons then issued an ultimatum, giving Jonathan 5 hours to decide how they were going to handle the situation. When Jonathan failed to act after 6 hours, Coons took matters into her own hands. She stepped outside, retrieved a rock, and waited. As Nicole stood in front of the refrigerator in her kitchen, unaware of Caitlin's presence, Coons attacked, bludgeoning her multiple times before strangling her to ensure she was dead. Together, Caitlin and Jonathan placed Nicole's body into trash bags, wrapped her in a tarp, and disposed of her remains in a dumpster. The trash was later hauled to a landfill, and to this day, Nicole's body has never been recovered. As a result, Caitlin Coons has been formally charged with aggravated murder, tampering with evidence, and abuse of a corpse.